Hi, this is Rose. And before we begin, have you charged like a bull?
Meet Rose Odette, tech trailblazer, EMR pioneer, and $100 million founder. Her book, Charge Like a Bull, unveils 7 strategies to scale without investors. Crush your limits, dominate emerging markets, forge unstoppable alliances. Ready to break through? Get your copy on Amazon now.
Hi, everybody. This is Rose Odette with Michigan Innovation Podcast. And we're so excited today because we have two guys from Traverse City who have agreed to join us and to talk to us about the Office of Possibilities out of Traverse City. It's a really cool organization that is co-founded by Commonplace and North Michigan College. Okay, I'm going to start over. Northwestern Michigan College. Okay, starting over. Hi, everybody. This is Rose Odette with Michigan Innovation Podcast. And I have Brett Sigworth with me, as well as Will Kitchen. And we're here to really do a deep dive in OOPS, which is the Office of Possibilities out of Traverse City, Michigan. Before we get into that, though, I really want to give you guys an opportunity to meet Brett and Will. So we'll go ahead and start with Brett. Hey, Brett, thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
And thanks, Rose. Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to have you in the podcast today. Will you first tell us how you met Will and how you two got together, and then give us an example of your kind of a little bit about your background. So first, let's find out how you two got together.
So I met Will through the Office of Possibilities. I might have probably met him at a First Founders Friday event, probably prior to that, I think a couple times, and got to know each other a little. And him and some other people said, you got to check this thing out called Oops. It's every Tuesday at 9. And I don't know why. I probably should have gone even sooner, but I went and immediately fell in love with the group. It's this really cool, supportive group, entrepreneurs helping each other, helping solve problems, helping connect. And I met Will, and I think we clicked pretty immediately. We think very similarly. We have the same whys. We have a lot of the same focus in the community we want to help. And we're both serial founders and can't help but get involved in probably too many things. And so all these common bondings, and what's always true with Traverse City, there's just a lot of authenticity in the people, and me and Will kind of bare our souls quickly. And when you do that with people, it's easier to form pretty quick relationships. So that was 8 months ago, 7 months ago, something like that.
Right.
So is that the way you remember it?
I don't remember anything. I'm old. Yeah, we basically have the Popeye complex. We am what we are. Popeye would say, "We am what I am what I am." So yeah, that's who we are.
Wonderful. Well, good. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, Brett. You sound like you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I've been a serial entrepreneur. I have a family, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and me and my wife were thinking about where we wanted to live, and we love Traverse City, so we took a risk, moved out here, and I was looking for different things to start, and came up with an idea called We Heart Local. It's a very mission-driven, focused product that we're creating, a software company, and our focus is to really help small businesses increase their revenue. We're going to do that by building a software that dynamically connects people in real time, using geofencing to know where they are and give them great offers in real time to local businesses and help drive revenue for those businesses. And it's going to use learning to understand the customers and curate and offer the right deals at the right time to them. And so that's a fun product we're working on right now. And I've had a history of entrepreneurship. I was part of a dental service organization. I had a children's STEAM toy company that didn't make it, and I've learned a lot from failures in my career as well. I've taught entrepreneurship, I've mentored, and I love the process of going from 0 to 1. And there's a lot of that going on at Oops, so it sucked me right in.
Fantastic. It's great to have you on you're perfect for the Michigan Innovation. And Will, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I grew up in Maine, so I'm a maniac. I started out as an elementary school teacher and then a librarian, public librarian, bookmobile librarian.
Really? I never heard
It's
that
true.
part
And
of your
then
background.
because of my vast knowledge and experience in telecommunications, I'd had home box office in college. I started a company that actually designed and implemented two-way interactive video for school districts and colleges.
Wow.
And we put in a number of the first two-way video systems using fiber optics in the country back in the 80s. So everything I'm talking about is going to be ancient history when dinosaurs roamed the earth. So, we get the young guy here who can talk about what's happening now with
Oh, I
entrepreneurship.
had no idea that you had that background. Wow. You're very, you kept that kind of close to your vest. I've known you a little while now. That's a great background.
Well, I think people get bored hearing my ancient history, so I try not to go too deep into it. And
Well, I think everyone likes to hear your origin story, especially uh the video and working in video back when fiber optics and that was not easy. Now we just turn on a camera and there you go. And you know the magic that has to happen behind the
Oh,
scenes to really make that camera or iPhone do what you want it to do.
absolutely. Yeah, I like to tell people kiddingly, of course, that I'm the grandfather of Zoom. And I'm like Al Gore being
Yeah, the grandpa.
the founder of
The
internet.
the internet, right? Wow. It has this huge background. It's so amazing. Well, thank you very much for those introductions. I was just wondering, now that we know where, you come from entrepreneurial, you come from innovation and new inventions with a wealth of knowledge. Tell me a little bit about the Office of Possibilities and what's its origin story.
Oh, well, the Office of Possibilities, the first time we started talking about it was 3 years ago. Nick Beatleston and Brittany Vanderbeek were teaching a design thinking class for social impact. And I had just moved into the community and I was looking to start networking and meeting other folks. So I sat down at a table. There was Steve Rice, Tex Cricky, Josh Hart, and myself, and we just hit it off.
Mm.
And during the class, we got so excited talking about everything that was going on that Brittany and Nick came over and started talking to us. And afterwards we said, we should keep together. We should connect. So Steve Rice and I, for several months, went to NMC. We found a classroom and we whiteboarded ideas and innovation and thoughts and whatever. And finally, some more people came and said, hey, we heard that you're doing this whiteboard session. Yes. Can we come in? Absolutely. After a while, we had about 7 or 8 people. We said, well, we should call ourselves something.
Right.
And I think it was Steve that came up the Office of Possibilities. And then about almost a year and a half ago, NMC made us formal with Commonplace. And we started doing things in the community and at the college for innovation and entrepreneurship.
Oh, that's fantastic. So they have put their seal of approval, giving you space. And is that
The Office of Possibilities has no office.
that no office? Okay. But I know that you work over, you do
It's
meet at
just possibilities.
it's more than smoke and mirrors because I've been there. So
Yeah, Commonplace on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, 9 to 11 at Commonplace on 8th Street in Traverse City. We do have a place that we can meet. We've outgrown 3 rooms already because of so many people that show up. And at the college, we have space whenever we need it. I mean, I make fun of the fact we have no office. We didn't even want an office.
right.
But NMC has been very gracious in letting us use space wherever we want to. And later on, we will talk about some of the classes and curriculum that we're developing for entrepreneurs.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's a great name, and I love the acronym OOPS because it just gives you that kind of a not too serious, but we're here to help you, but we're okay to laugh about it.
And make mistakes.
And make mistakes, right? And as entrepreneurs and innovators, that's what it's all about, and it's about getting back up after you do make
Absolutely.
those
100%,
oops
yeah.
mistakes, and it sounds like it's a place where you do get that hand back up if you do trip and fall, which we all do.
And I think you're making a good point there. We are a community. We're not a program. We're not anything like that. You don't go through for 10 weeks and we stamp you on the forehead and say, now you're an entrepreneur. We're a community it's built on trust and values and collaboration and caring. And you come in, our mission is whoever shows up,
Mm.
and we work with them.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. So if I were watching the podcast, as I have several people out there on the internet looking and watching what we're doing, could you give us an idea of one or two people that might be at these meetings on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock in Traverse City? Who shows up at these meetings?
Yeah, I like to hear from the people who come to this, and who do you find there?
I mean, it's founders first, right? It's about entrepreneurs, but that word is really broad with Oops in the best way possible, because you can come and say, I've once thought that I wanted to start my own thing and I kind of have an idea, and you're going to get a big hug and come on in. And how can we help you? How can we help you form that idea? How can we help you test that idea? And people, I think it's almost like a whirlwind. For the right people, you come, and if you're open, you get sucked into it and you get encouraged to a point that you take that next step. And there are people that support founders that come as well. And they also seem to be the right people that actually want to support founders and actually want to help. And so I think it's a pretty open group of people, but founder heavy, obviously, with its main mission to serve founders.
Yeah, and it can be a mom and pop shop. It can be a high tech company. It can be we've got skincare. We've got Riley's Candles. We've got Audacia Elixir. I mean, we're agnostic.
And I even met a not-for-profit
Oh yeah,
as
Sure.
well, Help Link.
yeah,
Help
yeah.
Link,
Help
oh,
Link
great.
is there. Yeah,
Great
so
startup,
it's
yeah.
I thought it was very, very inclusive of all sorts of shapes and sizes and looks and feels, but everyone has a passion for their creative, innovative startup founder business, whether it's a not-for-profit business or a for-profit business. The thing that I thought was interesting is the ask for help. I think that the methodology that you use is so inclusive. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about your methodology, but it really gives everyone a voice. I've gone to so many meetings and these meetings are quite large. It could be, 18 to 20, 25 people sitting, all eager to listen, all eager to contribute. But, a lot of times you go to a meeting like that and you hear one or two people. But what I noticed at Oops is that everyone has a voice. And I
Absolutely.
think you've organized it on purpose that way.
Absolutely, because I don't have anything to say. No, it's true. You come in and because we're growing so much, we've had over 300 people come through in the last year.
I had no idea.
And every week we get 20 to 30 people, and it's typically 3 to 5 new people. And so we're open to change to make our meetings better. So we're always tinkering and tweaking and whatnot. But right now you can come in and you can give an ask. I need help. I have a give. I want to give something to the group, or I want to brag about something.
Nice.
And that way we go around and you start to learn about people, what they need, and they go, oh, Brett, I think you need to connect with Rose. And we're always doing this connecting game. And so we're getting better. We're down to 1 minute for each person. And then at the end of the introductions, we break up into groups. And it is a natural thing. We don't have to say, all right, count off, and the 3s go over there and the 5s go over there. It's like everybody's going like this because they say, oh, I need to talk to Rose, or I need to talk to somebody else.
Where it naturally goes. Well, the other thing I think is so cool about it is that, not only do you have a voice and they're able to express their needs, they have an opportunity to get invested in another person's idea. When the secret to living is giving, in my opinion, that's what I believe. And when you see someone that has an ask and you might have, for me, I'm like, I think I might have an idea that might help them. And then you go over to your little breakout with them one-on-one and you say something and their eyes light up and you really did help them and you contributed. There's nothing better than knowing that you added value to someone that needed help and you were able to give them a hand. And it makes me happy to be able to help someone else. And so I think you facilitate something that we all need, and that is to contribute to each other. And I just love that about Oops. So what do you think makes Oops that different? What is the magic that you guys are doing? Because it is different and it's super effective. What is it? How do you put your finger on that?
I've been living it for all the whole time. So
if I have to give it one word, it's authenticity. That there are authentic people helping lead the group that have been doing it time and time again. And so there's no flashy sales pitch. There's no promise of anything. It's authentic people that actually seem to want to help you and actually care about you as a human being and understand how hard entrepreneurship is. And so to me, I'm very drawn to that. I'm very drawn to when I think someone authentically wants to help. And it's so infectious because when it's starting from the top down and it's authentically, how can I help you? Then everyone else feels that way. And so we have so many great examples of the collaborations between Oopsers. It's unbelievable. I've probably collaborated at this point with 15 people in a business sense and really helped launch my company in certain ways. And I've been able to help give back, I think, a lot to the community as well. And it's unbelievable how much we use each other for our skills and keep the business sort of in Oops as much as possible. And we, I think, form really strong, deep connections to each other because of that authenticity. So that's what I would say.
I have a question about the bad news. So let's say that someone comes in with a really good idea, but someone has hey, you're about ready to jump in front of the bus. How do you handle those tough conversations?
One example that comes to mind, we had a young person come in. Everybody's young compared to me. So if I say young people, it'd be any age.
You're 70.
Yeah. We had a young person come in who said, I've just had it. Corporate America is just killing me. My job is horrible. And she started to cry. And immediately, like 6 people gave her a hug and said, we understand it. Please be part of the group, and we'll nurture whatever it is you want to go forward. So it's what Brett said. We're not formulaic to say you come in and you have to, where's your business plan? Where's your marketing plan? Let's see your cap table. We don't want to scare people away who have ideas.
Right.
And not that all ideas are great. So you can come in and we want to just nurture this culture of innovation and creativity. I know it sounds woo-woo, but we care about each person who comes in. The people who don't come back self-select because it doesn't fit their needs. So I think that's, I don't know, Brett,
I think, the question of how do you help people, again, if you are honest, open with people and give this honest feedback in a nurturing, authentic way,
right,
that's what people are actually looking for.
I think
that's
that is the secret sauce. Yeah, it's the secret magic.
But everyone's giving it to each other. Like it's circular. It's not one person giving it. It's this whole community.
Right.
He said 5 hugs, not 1 hug, 5 hugs. And then
right.
probably 20 other conversations. What do you want to do? And I know someone that's doing that. Do you want to go work with them?
Wow.
That person, I don't know the story, but I'm betting they're doing something different, not in corporate America, and they're happier.
Yeah, probably. That's very cool. Well, that really helps me understand the difference and why it is effective and authentic and honesty. I think what you're talking about is that you're honest and this is an honest organization, but also extremely caring and nurturing. So OOPS is considered agnostic. What
Yeah.
does that mean? And non-denominational?
Yeah, and it depends on the audience we're talking to, it's either atheistic, agnostic, or non-denominational. What it means is everybody's welcome.
Okay.
We don't care what industry you're in. We don't care if you're a freelance, you're a consultant, a startup, a small business. It doesn't matter because we all have the same issues, obstacles, and challenges.
Right.
And we're just here to support.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so I love the idea of there, no business plan, no, like, what's your pro forma, that type of thing, because, then you get into NDAs and you get into, not that maybe eventually an NDA might be required if they're doing a deep dive in some kind of a design review. But when you're in that environment, asking for help, providing help, it's very open. And so why did you design it? Why did it all formulate that way? Why is that?
We wanted something different.
Mm.
We wanted to create community. It was, this started right after the pandemic, and people had been alone for so long, and that and I mean, entrepreneurs are alone enough as it is with their own ideas, and they don't get the chance to share them verbally. And sometimes, we've all had ideas where we say it verbally, go, what the heck was I thinking when
It makes sense.
So it started that just a place to share.
Okay. Yes.
And it wasn't to start the next unicorn. It wasn't to start, the next big organization. Oops, as this conglomeration of things that's going to control the ecosystem. We wanted to just be part of the glue of the ecosystem.
That's beautiful.
I want to add maybe another part of the secret sauce that plays into that is, and it's your famous saying, so I'm going to let you say it.
Which one?
Just
just enough, just in time.
So just enough, just in time has become one of my favorite sayings that Will uses, but I think it's part of the secret sauce. And the reason is that I've met with lots of organizations and they want to help you. They really do. And they don't know what to do. So they don't do enough, or they don't know what direction to take. And I've met with a lot of people that want to help me or help other startups. And what Oops has done really well, and Will, I think, but the group as a whole, is I can do one small thing for you right now. I'm going to connect you to someone who's done what you're doing, and you're going to be able to learn from them. I'm going to connect you to your first customer, and they're not going to pay you anything, but you're going to learn from it. A great example, a woman came in a few weeks ago. She came in with a newborn baby. People helped hold her baby while she got to talk. She had a print shop that was struggling that they just took over. And she left with 3 or 4 small jobs. I gave her a job. Will, I think, gave her a job. A couple other people gave her jobs. Did it change the world for her? No, but it's a start, and she's out in the community, and it's a small step forward today. So rather than saying, how can I find you $100,000 print, huge company that's going to give you 100 grand a year in print work that's going to save your company? I don't know. And so I'm not going to do anything. What I can do is, as a group, we can give you $500 today and get you some work. And that might lead to more repeat work. And when someone asks Sweetheart Local where we get our print stuff done, we can say at Allegra Printing, and now that connection's made. And so for me, that happened over and over. Every time I go to a meeting, somebody gives me something, some connection, some nugget, just enough, just in time. And I think there's a power to that I don't even know how to explain it. But when you go to a meeting and every time you walk away a little better off than you were,
it's powerful.
That's
It is
real
extremely powerful. Wow, what a story. I love those stories when you can really connect the dots with the person that was looking to escape corporate America to someone who's working, trying to figure out how to really go forward with an established business and to make an inroad. Because after the pandemic, you are absolutely right. Everyone just sort of came out of the dark, and their eyes are blinking. Where do I go? What do I do? And it's the time for connection. And I think that timing really meant a lot to this. And that's why, I totally need, I really need that connection. You know, I need to find people who are interested and that will give me guidance. And I think people really need guidance, especially when they're going it alone like this. And so I think it's very, and it's so cool that you have Commonplace and Northwestern Michigan College. How did you how did they get on board? How did, and it sounded like you started with some really cool ideas, you whiteboarded it. And how did they become your partners?
Well, we're very fortunate. President Nick Nisley is, I can never say it right. He's a possibilitarian, is what how he describes himself. And he is looking for creative and innovative ways to change the college. We all know higher education. I'm not picking on NMC. Higher education in general is an institution that really had a hard time through COVID.
Mhm.
And it showed some of the weaknesses of an older institution that needs to change fast.
Mhm.
So we all know that innovation doesn't take place easily within an institution. You have to be outside of the institution in order to do risk-free, just enough, just in time, try things, fail, it's okay, and keep doing that. And that's what Nick and some of our board of trustees and Jason Slade, our vice president of strategic initiatives, really took that leap and said, well, I don't know what you're going to do, but go ahead and do it, you crazy person, you. And we've done some things that have been beneficial to the college.
Fantastic.
And also we connect community members into the college, because there's still, and I've worked in several higher ed institutions, it's the same thing. There's the community likes the colleges and universities, but they don't dare go there.
Yeah.
And we're bringing people on campus all the time.
Right, right. I know that almost all community colleges are really, there's a trend of lack of, there's enrollment that's dropping and competition is growing for the students. And so with competition growing and enrollment is challenged for not just NMC, for all community colleges and colleges in general, makes the landscape extremely competitive. And so innovative ideas like this will really help give new life and breathe in new ideas. Now, as a contribution to this, do they see what do they see OOPS doing for NMC in that regard?
Okay. We just had an aqua hacking challenge, a Great Lakes aqua hacking challenge. NMC and OOPS partnered with one of the largest nonprofits in Canada, who for the last, I think, 7 or 8 years has focused on working with young professionals, so college through mid-career professionals who want to come up with innovations and startups for helping overcome our freshwater issues globally. So we partnered with them. It's an 8-month program. We helped them develop an innovation curriculum, and that's all virtual. So we had 200 students sign up worldwide.
Wow, my heart is flutter-patting. Oh my gosh.
32 teams.
Wow.
We went through a semifinals, and the finalists were 10 teams, 32 students, young people who came to Traverse City and had a pitch event. They've won the top three in a community choice, got some funding. And what happened is that 6 of them have been accepted into accelerators and incubators. One has just gotten a big SBIR grant, and 2 of them we're going to work with because they're not quite to that level, but they're still good young folks that need a little bit of help, and we're going to help them move forward.
Oh man.
So, and we're going to do this for the next 2 years.
That's huge. Let me just recap that. I'm overwhelmed, to be honest, because you're not only helping the entrepreneur You're encouraging many people, but then the ecology and the beautiful Great Lakes and fresh water worldwide. You have just hit, I think, almost every essential that we all care about these days with this initiative. And where could I learn more about that? Is this, it seems like, I know I've heard somewhat about it, but I think most Michiganders don't know this is happening.
www.oopstc.com.
Okay.
Or send me an email.
Okay.
But here's the cool part about it.
Right.
One of the teams won second place. It's from Elk Rapids.
Wow.
Wave Lumina. The founder went to our first innovation mindset credential program class. And he said, I'm just a scientist. I don't know anything about business. He now will tell you that it's because of the innovation mindset credential working with OOPS that he decided to take the step to start his business. And he just signed a contract with NMC to open a lab on the campus.
Oh my gosh, what a great story. So I'm just a scientist, and now he's a scientist with an entrepreneurial edge.
And he's cleaning up PFAS and doing something good for the world as well. So he's got a positive social cause. And this is just one of many.
And he's just so cool.
He's the best guy. Yeah, just the best
Yes,
guy.
I think I've met him.
Vernon.
Yeah, Vernon's amazing.
Yeah, we love him.
Very, very, very good person.
Brilliant guy who's extremely humble. You wouldn't know it.
So
Yeah,
humble.
Very brilliant.
Yeah, very, very, and very giving,
Yes.
willing to
Can
help.
I do another brag?
Absolutely.
We work with the National Association of Community College Entrepreneurs,
Okay.
and Nick Disley is on the board. And but he wasn't on the board when we won $40,000 to go toward. We did a pitch competition. We entered as NMC with the construction trades department on campus, and we won $40,000 to bring 3D printing of homes to Traverse City. So we're developing a curriculum on campus for 3D printing. We're now working to raise the funding to bring 3D printing here so we can print homes.
That's amazing.
It's another OOPS founder, right?
With another OOPS
Al
founder.
Everett from Thrive TC.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. He's great. I met
Yes.
him too. So cool to know these people. Come to these meetings if you're a founder or an entrepreneur. So 3D printing is something we've all heard about, and we've really wondered what's it doing, how's it working, and we have something like that going on right here in Traverse City.
Yep.
And they're building a 3D house.
We will be within the next 6 to 9 months. We'll see our first one.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be so cool. I hope that we get some press on that as well. Maybe we could have Everett come down here and
You
do
should have him on the
podcast. Let's
Yeah.
get him on the podcast so people can learn about the 3D printed house in Traverse City. How exciting.
He's much better looking than we are, though, so I don't know if I want him on.
Oh my goodness. You're such a kidder. So what we've got here is clean water, cleaner water, entrepreneurship, 3D printing. We've got Brett with his AI and geofencing. What else are you guys doing?
Well, we just gave, because of the NMC Foundation, we have access to $50,000 a year for students or educational startups. Students who have an educational idea or startup idea, or businesses that want to work with the college on educational startups. So we gave one young man $5,000 because he wants to, I love this. He said, I'm taking a CD, is it a CD, not a CD, drafting class. What is it?
I'm not sure. who
Yeah.
you're talking about.
CAD-CAM?
CAD-CAM. Yeah. He said, I don't want to know anything about it. I just want to be able to do my MVP of my pill bottle.
Oh,
So it's an
Right.
opioid pill bottle vault that will only give you the prescription that you have. It'll, like, if it's one pill a day, you only get one pill a day and you can't open it.
Fantastic. Wow. Talk about a big crisis in America and put the money where something will actually be a tactical solution to a problem.
Yep.
That's huge.
We gave 2 grants to Dr. Nick Roster on campus, who's working with his students to identify microplastics in our watershed, in our trees, in our wells, in northern Michigan.
Wow, how's he gonna do that? You know?
He's getting samples, and we were helping them get some equipment that will identify. I'm not a
I'm
scientist.
not either, but it
Where's
sounds like,
Vernon and
it
Dr.
sounds like magic.
Oh, it's great. These young students are out in our waterways all summer, all the time, looking at this, and they're finding some pretty scary stuff.
Wow. Well, that is what's really special about, you know, NMC, is that we do have it right there on Lake Michigan, and really focusing on Lake Michigan and the Great Lakes. So how they can, how they're, it's really exciting. So what does the future bring? Where do you see where is Oops going to be next?
Well, one of the things we're going to do is get more into learning opportunities, the just enough, just in time learning for our entrepreneurs and startups and basically anybody that has an idea. We want to do programs that focus on, and it's going to sound strange, but focus on failure. If you fail, we don't want you to just go away and not have any support. We want to help you understand that failure it's a given. We celebrate, but we don't only celebrate, we then learn from it and go back into the ecosystem again and help you develop new ideas.
Excellent.
And support you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that failure is something that we all face, and it's not something that you want to share. And so how are we going to find those folks that need that? I mean, it's not like, hey, guess what? I'm going to go to Oops and talk about my failure. How do you identify those people? And they definitely will be probably a little bit reluctant to share that.
That's a great point, and I think how we do that, and Brett, jump in here, because like people like Brett and myself, we've failed. My name is Will Kitchen, and I have failed more than I've succeeded in startups.
Me too.
And so, because we're open to saying that, other people go, well, I think I failed too.
Okay.
And then we go,
yeah,
that's okay.
right.
Or they'll say, Will, I think I'm crazy. Yes, you are.
Okay.
Me too. It's okay.
Right.
I think it's what you're saying is it's culture. And if you can create a culture where failure is not a negative, it's actually, it's where you learn the most, by the way. And your successes, the world tells you you're great. The world monetarily tells you you're great. Your ego goes up. You start to think you're better than you are in many cases. And a lot of learning kind of disappears in those situations. When you get your butt kicked, you learn a lot. You learn what you did wrong. You have a lot of ideas of what you want to done differently. And so I think if you can have a culture where people celebrate failure, help you to pull out the right messages from it, and then scoop you up into the system to build back your pride, to remind you that you're valuable, and to give you an opportunity to still be at least part of a startup and be part of the community that you so clearly want to be a part of, that becomes a supportive ecosystem that constantly sustains itself.
That's
really
amazing.
special.
How could they become a part of a startup?
Well, as we continue to have successful startups launch in the area, and again, it's a culture, the founders that have gotten so much from Oops will give back in this moment where they're on a rocket ship and they have funding and they've got money to come in, and they can find opportunities for these other founders, the founders that are staying, the founders that are coming every week, the founders that are spending years investing their time and own resources. These are talented, capable people who all have a variety of skill sets and have proven that they can do it. When you fail, if you fail after a week, then you're just a quitter. If you fail after 2 years, you're a hero that proved that you're willing to work really, really hard. And at some point you need to say, this isn't working. And at my time, I got to go try something else. Those people, to me, have proven to already be exceptionally talented people that deserve to get scooped up.
Excellent. Excellent. That's just so inspiring.
And just to add a little bit, the other things that we're doing, we want to do more wellness mindset for the entrepreneur, because one of the things we tend to forget about is us, our health,
right?
Mental health, physical health.
Isn't that the truth?
Spiritual health, well-being. So we want to have a little focus on we want to have a focus on that. And things like what we're coming up with, all of us at Oops talk a lot. And
Mhm.
like, we want to raise some money so that an entrepreneur who is having a little hard time as a startup, we say, well, we've got a pot of money. We'll give you 2,000, 3,000, I make numbers up, a month for the next 6 months to help you out.
Mm.
It'll be a low cost, no cost, long-term loan.
Yeah,
And when you pay us back, that goes into the pot so we can pay others.
right. Wow.
Now, do we have an idea how to do that yet? No. But we're going to be looking at how we might be able to do something like that.
That's fantastic. And talking about wellness and mental wellness, I know you guys also do physical wellness. So I hear you have a kickball team.
Yes, I'm the unofficial coach and cheerleader. I am going to put the team through agility skills training and physical strength training. So no, we just have fun. We like
So
to do
you have fun together.
oops after hours.
Very cool. Very fun. Oh, it sounds amazing. So, do you have any last words you'd like to share with us regarding Oops and how do you said we could go to the
You can go to
website.
the website.
And where do you guys meet on Tuesday?
We're at Common Space in the Common Place building. We're now on the third floor, unless we're in the Alluvian, unless we're in the first floor. So it depends
It's
on
in that building
Yeah,
somewhere.
so we're in the building somewhere,
Yeah,
9
and
to
that's on
11.
8th Street,
8th
right?
Street,
8th
9, yeah.
Street in the Nobo area, which means North Boardman.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so if you know Traverse City, it's in the Nobo area in the Commonplace building.
Mhm.
And it's on 8th Street. It's such a pretty part of Traverse City. There's so much going on there. And it's fun to go there because you feel like you're in the middle of something that's really exciting that's happening. Especially they have the nice coffee shop there and before, after, I know I hang out a little bit and have a beverage with some of the colleagues that I've met there, and really it's more than networking. I think you're really making friendships.
You are.
It's it's a friendship
I find
place.
deep friendships and connections. And again, it goes back to the authenticity. People share their life stories. Me and Will maybe have only known each other for 7, 8 months, but we know some of the hardships we've been through personally and professionally
Yeah.
and formed a real deep friendship as opposed to this isn't networking.
No,
Right.
it doesn't feel
Yeah,
like
it's not.
networking. It's
Yeah,
more,
it's like, hi, I'm Will. What are you going to give me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
no, we're making friends. So thank you so much. I'm very, very enthused and inspired by speaking with you both about Oops. And thank goodness that you guys came up with this after the pandemic when people need community. We all need community. And so thank you. If you have anything that you would like to share with the Michigan Innovation audience before we wrap up, Brett, do you have any final words?
I want to thank you, Rose, for your time and this amazing interview. And I think it helps bring awareness. And I want to thank you, Will, and Oops, and all the founders of Oops for all the things you've done for me as a startup founder. And my last thought would just be, if you're a startup, if you think you might want to be a startup, if you have any interest in this world or just want to be in a collaborative community, come to a meeting.
Yeah, you both said it well. Thank you both. This has been great.
Thank you.
And it's something that we wanted to come down here to support you because you come up and support us.
You're an
Well,
Oopser.
thank
You're
you.
an
I'm
Oopser.
Oopser.
You're
I
an
love it.
Oopser,
You're an
yeah.
Oopser. Thank you.
Whether you want to be or not.
Oh, I want to be. I want to.
You are.
I am. Thank you. And you guys are great guests on this Michigan Innovation Podcast, and I appreciate you. And I'm going to definitely have you back next time there's something eventful. And I know it happens every time we meet, but we'll definitely see Will and Brett back here on Michigan Innovation Podcast. And with that, we'll say bye. Hey, grab your copy of Charge Like a Bull and Charge Like a Bull game plan book. You don't need book 1 to get the game plan book. Skip that 450 pages if you want to get right to work like I usually do. They'll both be out on Amazon waiting for you, and you'll find the link in the show notes. And a sneak peek, if you're more into Audible books, the Audible book will be ready at the end of June of 2025, and I've already listened to the first 30 minutes. And it's amazing. I did not narrate it. I hired a professional actor to narrate it, and thank God I did. Anyway, see you in the podcast.